because this is something that fascinates me. Obviously, and to this point, I think this is more, I don't want to say media driven, probably fan driven or social media driven right now. The talk of him getting traded. Certainly, that's not to say it won't happen.
Right.
But I feel like whereas DeAndre Hopkins, which we'll get more to in a second here, I feel like Ed Oliver, it just makes sense when you look at the number and you look at some situations. But make a case if you're going to trade him, and then make a case to keep him. Because I look at a guy right now, and you were talking about this over wings, and I thought this was a great point. Quite frankly, I didn't think of. You're in win now mode, right? So you're going to trade him for cap relief or whatever. If it's to make another move, then maybe. But you already lost Jermaine Edmonds. You got a hole there for now. You trade Ed Oliver, who's in the final year of his contract. So my thought was, well, and this is what I told you while we were eating our wings. I'm like, well, we know he's not going to sign long term here. We don't know that. The assumption is he's going to want to get paid a hell of a lot of money, and Brandon Me's going to let him walk. You made a really good point, and you told me, yeah, but he's also in the last year of his contract.
Right.
He's probably going to ball out because he wants to get that big ass contract. So if you're in a win now mode, like the Bills damn sure better be at this point, why would you want to trade that guy for a fourth, fifth round pick when you got a guy who's going to be playing like his hair's on fire trying to get that big money contract?
No,
you know?
it's such an interesting part of this because, right, like if you're looking at maybe like a big ticket item, right, like you're going to have to open up considerable amount of space, and a trade for Oliver opens up $10.5 million. Like it makes sense from that perspective. And so any trade idea that's been pitched, on our live shows or from fans in general, I think I even wrote about it in one of the articles I put out where like all the cap cutting moves that they can do, cap space adding moves. The thing with Oliver is it's always like two stories with him. It's the story of you never quite really know what's going on with him. Like even when you talk to him, there's been times where I've spent time with him in the locker room. He's been amazing. He was personable. He was charismatic.
Mm-hmm.
He said some really good, some insightful stuff. Then there's times you walk up to him and he'll have one word, one sentence answers for you. He's a hard guy to read. So all this stuff that he's putting out on social media right now, that might just all be like, hey, I'm just putting out my highlights. Like it might have nothing to do with all the stuff that people are thinking about. But what we were talking about before the show is if I'm Brandon Beane, I'm looking at this window and Josh Allen being at the age that he's in, we got to win this year. Who are you going to replace with Ed Oliver with on the defensive line that's going to be as good as he is? And I know you haven't had the sack numbers. The advanced metrics don't like blow your hair off back. But to our point, if he's going to come in this year and try to earn that money that he's tweeting about and he's IGing about, he's going to come in here and have a huge year. And then you can make the decision yourself. Okay, is this the guy that we drafted him to be and we're willing to pay because it's important to our defense? Or are we going to let him walk and then maybe be in a position again to get a comp pick like they're trending to right now with Edmonds walking?